Hey guys, I'm IzDaisho and I'm here bringing you games 2 and 3. Game 2 ended up going pretty quickly. My opponent mulled to 5, and I guess there's not really much to say about it in terms of well played, poorly played. It was kind of just, I guess that there's one main play in the game that actually really does change the outcome, because my opponent's deck is actually really good. He drafted an amazing deck. It's just a couple of the plays he didn't. I don't know if he didn't think them through or if he just wasn't sure of how to do it. But anyway, here's what's going on. He's gonna play. I'm gonna play a land here, swing for 2, and then second main drop a Cobble Brute, and that's a 5/2. So that's gonna be a big deal. My opponent's got a cancel in hand, but he's also got a Rune Wing to play next turn. So there's two really interesting schools of thought, I guess. You can cancel the spell because you have the mana untapped anyway, and that is a threat, but you do have a way to deal with it. He can just drop this Rune Ring, trade, draw a card, and that's pretty good for him. But that means that if I have an Inaction Junction, Bluster Squall, Teleportal, something like that, I can get in. So I'm not able to get in here because he would have just been able to block, and I end up not really being able to do much, but I'm just going to drop a Hover Barrier here. So now here comes the issue, is he's going to play a Righteous Authority and on his Rune Ring. So now his Rune Ring becomes a lot more valuable. He really doesn't want to lose this thing. If he loses this thing, he loses his ability to draw 2 cards every turn. He can't attack because of the Hover Barrier, but now all I need to do is get past the Rune Wing, and I'm basically just home free in terms of getting in with my Cobble Brute. So luckily for me, I have the Arrest. So even though he keeps drawing Righteous Authority, I keep drawing Arrest. So that's pretty good for me. Apparently I don't remember how to tap mana correctly, but there you go, I got an Arrest, then I can beat him for 7. So if he had just made that that play earlier with the he's going to draw 2 cards here, but unluckily for him, they're both lands. If he had just canceled the Cobble Root, it would have given it a lot more time, and maybe it would have given him enough time for the Righteous Authority to win him the game. But here is another, I guess, just mistake. He did have a, what's it called? He had a Knightly Valor in hand. He just didn't want to put it on the Rune Wing, and then he didn't realize until now that he was about to die. So, yeah, he just dies. I swing in for lethal, and that's the game. So yeah, game 1 was pretty, or game 2 rather, was pretty easily mine. But I mean, he could have clawed his way back into it if he had just made a different line of play. But still, this game is a little bit more disappointing. There are a couple of mistakes that I think both players make that make it not ideal play, but I mean, it's still fun. It's Magic, and I never claimed to be a top-level player. That's why I'm not playing in GPs and Pro Tours and stuff like that, because I'm not that good. But I think I know some things about the game. So anyway, he's gonna attack. He's gonna draw a Ethereal Armor, drop it on his Fencing Ace, and that puts me in a position where I can't block. I was gonna block otherwise with my Electromancer, though Electromancer is pretty useful in my deck. It's not really the engine that my deck runs around, and I feel like Fencing Ace is a lot more important to his deck than Goblin Electromancer is to mine. I know that he's got a bunch of enchantments, he's got a couple of Ethereal Armors at least, and Knightly Valor too, Righteous Authority, all those things on a Fencing Ace just making a huge threat. But I do drop the Hover Barrier here, so I'm like, alright, you're going to need to play something pretty big to get rid of my Hover Barrier, and he's going to drop a Soul Tithe on it. So now there's a couple of interesting ways. So what could happen right here is he can attack with the Fencing Ace, and I'll just chump block with the Hover Barrier, obviously. But he opts not to attack, and I'm not really sure if that's correct or not. So I was a little bit confused, and I'm just going to sacrifice it anyway. I think I probably should have tapped out again, and then that way I can get an extra chump block out of it. But I really wanted to play some more spells that affect the board, and I play a Rune Wing here, as opposed to other 2-drops or something like that. I don't really know what my plan is. I don't think I have one. It's kind of just like, my plan here is pretty much just block and hope to draw something that can deal with it. I have an Arrest in hand, but I need to draw that White Source. So he's going to he's going to attack with his 2/2 double strike here, and I am just going to double block after some thought. So the fact that it took me so long to think about obviously means that I didn't consider this previously, and it's a little bit of a risky play, because if he's got like a Swift Justice, then I'm done. If he's got a Dramatic Rescue, well, it's not even so bad, because I was probably just going to chump block anyway. But he did have a Mizium Skin in hand, so he could have just played that Mizium Skin, and then his creature would not have died, but he didn't want to lose the tempo advantage because he didn't have another play, so he decided to just drop the Azur's Elocutors. I don't even know if he noticed that. He could have just Museum skinned, but that Elocutors, I mean, dropping an Azur's Elocutors just after you wipe my board is pretty good, because now I'm going to have to, A, play some creatures, and B, find a way to get through a 3-5, so not going to be an easy task. But I do have a couple of cross-down couriers here, so that's pretty good. I do have an Ash Zealot in hand as well, but only one red source, and now here comes the really scary part of this game. He plays an Azure Elocutors into a Palisade Giant, so that thing is just, I mean, all I've got is 4 power on board, so I need to craft a plan to A, kill the Palisade Giant, and then B, get past his defenses the turn after that, because, I mean, he's got that Azur's Elocutors, and I have to find a way to deal with that, otherwise I'm actually just going to lose the game. And that'll just not only be sad, but it'll be embarrassing, because who wants to lose to an Azur's Elocutors, right? Anyway, it goes to 2, and he's choosing not to attack with his Palisade Giant. I agree with that play. I don't think that attacking here is good for him. I think he should just hold back. That way, if I do manage to find a way to get through, he's going to be able to kill as many of my creatures as possible, and then maybe the next turn I won't even be able to get back through. So a couple turns previous, you did see that I drew the Hallowed Fountain, but right here I'm just going to drop an Ash Zealot, and not sure what else I'm going to do this turn. I definitely have, I've got a whole bunch of spells in hand. I played that Thought Flare, although I did discard 2 lands, and I know I drew at least 2, maybe even 3. And I'm going to Inaction, Injunction, the 3/5, really just to draw a card here. And it was a pretty, like, it was pretty important that I did that, because now I'm able to get the Frostburn Weird out, and I'm not really sure why I did it. Why I did do the Inaction Injunction, I don't remember my thought process, but hopefully it was something along the lines of, well, I need to take care of this situation pretty soon, and once he gets to 4, then it guarantees that he's going to do it, because he can just get the Palisade. Unless I'm able to find a way to kill the Azur's Elocutors, he can just use the Palisade Giant to fog for 1 turn and then kill me the next turn with the Elocutors. But I am able to draw the Frostburn Weird, which is going to be my 7th power, which I need to get through that Palisade Giant. And he's at 3, so luckily he's not at 4 yet, and I won't die. But anyway, he does have a Museum Skin in hand. Remember, that was a little while. I don't know why it took me so long to pop up that Rune Ring, but whatever. Okay, so he's got a Museum Skin in hand, and he's got 2 mana, so he can overload it. And I have an Arrest in hand, and now I'm planning on using my Arrest. So that could be really, really bad for me. All he's got to do is just overload that Museum Skin, and then he'll be able to basically just take out another one of my creatures. Another interesting thing is he attacked me last turn with his Judge's Familiar, which probably wasn't the right play, because the only way he's losing this game is if I manage to get past that Elocutor somehow. So just attacking me for 1 isn't really going to do much, while if he left it back on defense, then he can basically just eat a Crossdown Courier. But he opts not to use the Museum Skin for whatever reason. Not really sure why, but now that he's even here, he's like, okay, well, I'm facing 7 power, because he just counted the power on board, not noticing the Frostburn Weird's ability. So he's gonna cast the Museum Skin on the Palisade Giant, and then I can't blame him, because I've made mistakes too when I have Palisade Giant in play. It's just a really confusing card, and it's got a strange ability that you don't really see every day. So I can't really blame him for not seeing everything that's going on. But anyway, he doesn't really make the best blocks either. He should have blocked my Ash Zealot and a Crossdown Courier instead of blocking the Frostburn Weird. That definitely wasn't really the right choice. So if he had done it a different way, then I wouldn't have been able to get in for any damage, and I would have lost 2 Crosstown Couriers and an Ash Zealot, and he would still have his Elocutors. It would go up to 4, and he would have the Judge's Familiar, the Rune Wing, and the Azur's Elocutors all able to block the next turn, and I would only have 2 creatures, so I would need to top deck something rather insane if I wanted to win this game. So he made a couple of mistakes on the last turn that really managed to hurt him, and put him too far behind to even come close to winning this game. But he does draw a Righteous Authority, and that card is probably the only card left in his deck that could get him out of this situation. It doesn't add any power or toughness in right here, but it's still, I mean, just a scary card. I don't really want him to be drawing 2 cards every turn. But now that the thing's at 4, I just drew another land, so I would have been dead if he had made the correct blocks and everything last turn. But now I attack, and I think the optimal block here is just the Judge's Familiar on the Crosstown Courier, and then take the 9 going down to 9, and then draw, just because you need to draw 2 cards here to try and find some sort of way to stabilize. But he blocks the Frostburn Weird, and I'm just going to pump and end up killing the Rune Wing. So that wasn't too great for him. He does get to draw, I mean, he gets to draw a card, I suppose, off the Rune Wing dying, although it seems like he forgot to do that. Whoops. But yeah, so I mean, I guess we both missed the trigger, so it's not like a big deal or anything. But yeah, that's just really unfortunate for him. And I don't know. I don't really think that it mattered too much at this point. Once he lost the Righteous Authority, I don't think that there was much that he could do to come back and win the game. It was a little brutal. It was just that one turn of misplays. I mean, once you make one misplay, I think it's really easy to avalanche and make a lot more, because you just get flustered and you're like, oh, well, I need to do this now and this now and this now, and then all of a sudden you're just making mistake after mistake. But I mean, it's just something that you should learn from. Try to think of all the logic behind casting your spells, and don't ever be afraid to say, can you hold on a second, when they cast a spell and you're considering responding to it. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Not really much else is going to go on. He's just going to take some damage here, draw a card, and then realize he's dead. His Elocutors goes down to 0 counters, unfortunately, but he gets one at his upkeep, so that's nice. So that was a really close match, and luckily I managed to win. So hope you guys enjoyed, and have a nice day. Bye.